who, when running for office, didn't do enough to make people feel compelled to go to the polls. So, you think about people who want to buy that iPhone every year and they're willing to stand in line in front of the store for hours, days at a time to buy a phone. How do we care more about that than people who are running for office and make such important decisions in our lives?
So they just didn't do a good job of it.
They didn't build their brand enough to compel people to move
say,
heaven and earth.
Right. The world's going to end
blocks.
if I don't, vote for somebody.
Absolutely. And then the other thing is the negative campaigning. I think it's such a turnoff. It makes people so frustrated that they don't show up. They feel like it's just choosing between evil one and evil two. It's about being angry at the whole process and being turned off by the process. And so I saw a lot of candidates who did some very, very ugly negative campaigning, either win the whole thing outright or make the runoff. And we've rewarded the behavior. I mean, it is like giving a 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum the gum they're screaming for in the checkout line. Well, guess what? Every time you're in the checkout line from now on, they're going to scream because they're going to get the gum. We've created the Pavlovian response.
Wow.
You know, what's interesting to that, and those are all very good points. Now, you look at the one race, though, state representative, Jean-Paul Cusson, Andre Como, and Jan Swift, the first two names I mentioned move on. That's one race where it actually had the highest voter turnout.
You mean the one where there's no negative campaigning?
Exactly.
Where everyone was nice and kind and smart and actually talked about what they were going to do and were respectful of the other people who were dedicating their lives to the mission of making our state a better place. That one had a good turnout.
You got it.
Oh, so basically, thanks, because that proves the point. At the end of the day, I think that people who run for office should be judged by their campaigns, by the nature of their campaign. And I don't care who started it. If you feel the need to throw the next punch, then it should be schoolyard discipline where everybody involved in the fight gets ejected from the game.
You know what amazes me, Jackie, and me and Bernie kind of talk about this a little bit off the air. How candidates, you'll have negative commercials run, and it says at the end, paid for by such and such, and it's their voice endorsing it. But when you ask them about it, all of a sudden it's, oh no, the other candidate said this, I'm not taking part in it. And it's just like, wait a minute, we're not idiots. We can hear the commercials. We hear paid for by such and such. No, and I think to your point, people aren't buying that. That's why that's one of the reasons why the voting turnout was so low.
They don't want to vote for people who play ugly.
Yeah.
They don't want to support people who engage in those schoolyard bully tactics. At the end of the day, the politicians are not building a brand that drives people to the polls. They are putting out ads that drives people away. And that's their point. That's what they want to do. Low voter turnout benefits the bullies.
I got a question here. Talking about, there's the thought of people want to vote for winners, and sometimes they'll wait until the very end to make a decision and break towards the person who's kind of surging at the end, maybe who has that momentum going into it. What truth do you believe there is in that? Oh,
I think it's absolutely true. I think that we are often a nation of sheep. And I think we're led astray by the Pied Piper. So I definitely think there's truth in that. So that goes back to, instead of standing up and saying, this is who I am, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm going to do, and not in I'm running for student council and I'm promising longer recesses and no homework, which are not things you should promise because you can't deliver. But people who actually promise things that can be delivered, and not those vague generalities, but some specifics. I'm going to achieve these 3 things in office. And so until that happens, we're going to keep having the same situation. You're going to see voter turnout continue to go down. You're going to see negative politics continue to increase. And you're going to see elections just like this over and over again. And look, I'm happy for some people that won. I'm sad for some people that lost. I mean, that's just the way the world works.
Sure.
No means do I think that my scorecard is the one that's going to take charge all the way, down the line every time. I mean, if I could predict that, I'd spend a lot more time at the track.
I was going to say, yeah.
A lot more time on the trifecta. But at the end of the day, we as a state, as a parish, as a city should expect more. And we should openly speak out against those who participate. But I understand the politician's dilemma, because you're running for office and you run a clean race and you lose. You're going to go about it a different way next time. So we as the voters need to stop encouraging bad behavior. Stop giving the 2-year-old having the temper tantrum the gum in the checkout line. Because we're training them to act that way every time.
Wow.
As you know, you're talking earlier about some of the candidates and the basically not putting enough of much of a sense of urgency for people to go vote. You know, if you're advising candidates and you want to make sure that they get out a sense of urgency to vote, what are some pointers that you give to them?
Well, that's a great question. We stay as far away from politics professionally as we can, because in the early days, we realized a couple things. One, we still have some outstanding invoices from some 08 and 06 runs.
Right.
So we're done with that because they don't pay their bills. Not all of them, but a few we represented.
Right.
I will not name names. I will protect the guilty right now.
Politicians not paying their bills. What a surprise.
I know. I can go talk to your accounting department, I'm sure, and commiserate. And so the other thing, though, is we want to build brands. We want to play nice, and we want to do good. And that's not necessarily what politics is always about. But so back to your actual question, if we were going to do that, I would have them really dig deep on what they're going to actually accomplish. Don't talk about traffic. You can't fix state roads with city money. It's against the law. So stop telling me that. Focus on the things you can really do and then get them done. And you want to make a statement, even if you lose the race, still fight for those things because you actually believed in them.
Yeah.
So be a citizen advocate if you can't do it from office anymore. Be the change that the community is begging for.
Wow. Strong words.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I love about you and Mondays, man?
Get y'all fired up?
Well, yeah. You know, it's just fun.
Yeah, tell Mike you want me to come in every day.
Mike, Jackie wants to come in every day.
He just did a U-turn right back to his house.
All right, Jackie, before we let you go, I mean, this is the last time we'll get a chance to talk to you before the Cajuns take on the Warhawks on Saturday.
What?
Are you fired up for that game as much as I am?
I'm so fired up for that game.
Come
Wait
in.
until you see my Halloween homecoming costume.
Oh, okay.
Can you give us any kind of hint? No.
I'm a big fan of UL.
Well, that we knew, my baby. I can't wait to see that.
That's all you
costume
need
then.
to know.
You're
All
right
right.
about that. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I'm just saying, if they retired Cayenne, because I haven't seen him around lately, I'm willing to step up
Yeah.
and take his place.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my gosh. That's going to be great.
Fear the pepper, my friends. Fear the pepper.
It's hot. It's blazing. It's going to hurt you.
It is.
It'll
It
burn
is.
you.
Absolutely. Oh, it's going to be a great game. I feel like this is going to be the push we need for the second half of the season to really get it together. You saw the Saints finally stacking some
Yep.
Wins up,
Yep.
put it together yesterday. Maybe a little nervous in the fourth quarter, but they pulled it off. Berkman's Academy season is done. They took third in state.
All right.
They fought valiantly in the semifinals with 5 of their starters out due to injury.
Oh, my. Wow.
8-man football, you lose 5 starters. Y'all
That's
can do the
big.
math.
Yeah, that's a little
That's
bit.
huge.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so, at the end of the day, I'm ready to put it all behind the Cajuns and the Saints.
Well, by the way, we're going back to the Cajuns, Jackie. Did you notice that South Alabama lost over the weekend?
I
That
did.
is huge.
That's very huge.
That's huge for the Cajuns.
I don't think this conference is set yet. I think we are all able to still play it out to the end and see how it turns out.
Jaci Russo, Brand Buzz. Oh,
Yeah.
again, remind people where they can go get
Yes.
your
Oh,
nuggets
yes.
of wisdom.
Well, you won't hear anything about the politics we just discussed, but you will read about how to fix your pitch and really build your own brand at raiseyourbrandingblog.com.
Jacci Russo, thank you so much. It's always fun having you here on Mondays.
It is. You brighten up the whole day.
Yes.
Happy to help.
Even if it's all raining outside.
That's right.
All right, KPEL News Time is 7:50.